Hi, welcome to a video by Archangel Raphael. For those of you who don't know, my name's Jabeen and I'm a channel of Archangel Raphael. This particular video is going to be about guilt. So Archangel Raphael will talk a little bit about guilt and it'll be followed by a clearing for guilt. So I'm going to let Raphael come in and speak through me now. I would like you to know that guilt is a very big subject for us to cover in one video, but we will do our best to make it as thorough as we can. What we would like you to know is that guilt is not really what you may believe it to be. It is not about feeling that you are responsible for things. It is something else altogether. Because responsibility is a different kind of energy. It is an energy that can be very constructive, where you feel responsible for something that you are responsible for, like your children, and you make amends for things which are not quite right. You make things right. So responsibility is something that can be very positive. If you feel responsible for what is right for you to feel responsible for. However, guilt is something else, and it is closely related to feeling that there is something you have done that is so wrong that you are not able to make amends. So what I will say is that when you feel guilty, it can be because you feel that you have done something that is not able to be repaired, something that has caused others harm, or perhaps you believe it has, or it can be something else. You can feel guilty for what has got nothing to do with you, but you feel that you may have done something to create something else that has harmed others, or perhaps harmed you in some way. What I'm really trying to say is that guilt comes from a very particular part of the psyche. It comes from the part of you that believes that there is something very wrong you are doing, something wrong about you intrinsically perhaps, or something wrong that you do, and something that you are not able to repair. Normally, guilt is formed very early in the childhood, where you have perhaps done something innocently and been blamed, and it has been blown out of proportion. Or it can come from another place where a lot was going wrong around you in your childhood years, and you believed there was something you were doing to create it, because other people were not taking responsibility for what they were responsible for. What I will say is that it is not so much about what you have done wrong. It is more a particular energy that really does not have any constructive use in your life. Because when you feel guilty, there is nothing you can really do from that energy to repair whatever you feel guilty about. Before you can actually start to make amends when you have done something which is not quite right, you have to feel empowered within yourself. You have to feel that you have something to give, something to offer. And when you feel guilty, because it is a very low energy, when you give from this place, there is not a lot of light there, not a lot of power. So the place that you give from determines the energy that you are giving, sharing with others. And the energy determines the effect it will have on the lives of others. So what I will say is whatever you are feeling guilty about, firstly, this must be transformed. And secondly, you must be then able to feel empowered in yourself. And when you feel empowered, whatever is right for you to give will automatically come through you. I hope this makes sense. There is a lot more we can say about guilt, but we would rather do the clearing, and then you will have spontaneous realizations from inside. When you are ready, we would like you to simply attune to the energy of guilt within you. Invite everything you feel guilty about to come up. Invite all your guilt to come up for clearing, and we will do the rest for you. May the light that is within you and around you fully support this process. And in this moment, I firstly would like to invite the Lords of Karma to clear anything karmic that you are feeling guilty about. So anything that is coming from other lives, or even this life, anything that you have done, anything that other people have done to you that has made you feel guilty. So what I will say is sometimes you have been wronged, but you feel guilty because you would like to be able to just let go of it, but you can't, and this makes you feel guilty. So when people do not take responsibility for their actions, you can be the one who ends up feeling guilty for their actions because you would like to really believe that they are better people, but you can't, and then you feel guilty for thinking badly of them. It is very complex what happens in the human psyche when other people don't take responsibility for their actions. And it is very complex what happens in your psyche when you do things without realizing it and then are blamed and are not able to really make amends because of the energy that is thrown at you, or something else that is in you that makes it impossible for you to really make amends, to take responsibility instead of feeling guilty. What I will say is that when you are in this type of energy, you feel that you are bound in some way or another in a certain state. So I will do a clearing now for anything karmic, and I would like to invite in Metatron to get to the root of where it all started. I would now like to do a clearing for anything ancestral, and this can include things your ancestors have done, which you are taking responsibility for. you are feeling guilty about. Yet there is nothing you can do to correct the imbalance, because the original sin is not yours. There is nothing you have done in the first place to harm anyone or make anything go out of balance, but you believe yourself to be responsible because you feel that energy. So you are left eternally feeling guilty, but you have nothing you can do about it, nothing you can do to make amends. What I will say is that responsibility, without actually being the one who has done anything out of balance, then becomes guilt, because there is nothing you can do about it. This will be cleared now. I would now like to work on another layer to this. So what I would like you to do now is free you from other people's energy, people who may be blaming you for things because they are responsible, but they are blaming you, and then you feel bad. What I will say is this often comes from you being in a state of guilt in the first place, perhaps from childhood, and then attracting people who blame others for their own problems. So this will be cleared now. And the way we will do this is by clearing the people away and making sure they take responsibility for what is theirs. And finally, what I would like you to do now is clear any remaining guilt from your system. So what I'm going to do is scan your system as it is now and clear energies which are lurking in you around guilt. This may come from many different places, many of the places we have already cleared, but it may be trapped in your body, this feeling, and it has become an energy package in its own right. So I will do a clearing now on this layer of you. I would like you to know that this is complete. Thank you for listening, everyone, and hope you enjoyed this video and benefited from it. Please share this video with anyone you feel who may benefit from it. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing and pressing the notifications to be updated about latest videos which have been released. Yeah, and thank you very much for listening.